hop everywhere.
See, I wouldn't do
can
that.
cope with the hop.
You wouldn't though. Your knees would go. Listen, take it from...
Walking backwards everywhere though.
No, but your knees, like, take it,
No,
like,
I know.
people who run
You'd have to get good
on
shot
concrete
stuff. No, I know that.
who
I know.
their knees just get destroyed.
Correct,
And
yeah.
if you had to hop...
Yeah, but you could do like a small hop, couldn't you? So you're lowering the impact of the...
We're live on YouTube.
live
If you
on
don't know
YouTube.
what we're talking about, Baz is just wondering whether it'd be better to walk backwards for the rest of your life or have to hop.
Okay. I mean, that was a question. It didn't just come into my head and I thought, I know, this is an interesting thing that I'll have to think about. But there you go. Are you going to take Patreon over or do you want to do YouTube? Is it easier for you to
I'll do Patreon.
Patreon. Okay. You take over. So we're up to, on Patreon, we're up to Yannick. So obviously there's 3 more comments there so you can have a look. Do you want me to do them? Then we're up to date.
Yeah.
Okay, Mark G says, oh, hi. Oh, no, sorry. Oh, it's today a YouTube day. That's not going to help my headache. Go Arizona. John Washburn says, hi, lads. Super anxious here in the US. Michael H. Barker says, me too, not enough sleep. Right, get over to YouTube and get in the comments there. Let's see what people are up to here. Making sure you're hitting the like. I mean, you can be quiet straight away. Make sure you hit the likes as you come in to that.
Make sure you like it.
You've got to like it because it's like your entry and you're not having to pay to get in. So hit the like button.
Are we definitely live on YouTube?
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's only very slowly just
Okay.
picking up.
It's not, that's one thing I've noticed, it's not as, yeah.
It doesn't go immediately, does it? It's not
Michael
like
H. Barker says,
Yeah.
Ped, all due respect, apps are usually rubbish, and for that reason I'm out. Whoa! What do you mean apps are normally rubbish? Give me some feedback on. Honestly, we've tested this. So anyone who's on YouTube, right? There's a new app launching next week called Last Fan Standing. It's a quiz app, right? We're gonna have 3 quizzes on there a week. You'll get a little notification on your. They're like live quizzes as well. I mean, obviously we're not sitting here doing the quiz live. We've already put the questions in, and you'll see us doing the quiz video of us, right? But the point being is that it'll be like 6 o'clock, let's say on a Wednesday. The quiz will go out and you'll do it in real time against other people. Because the point is, the person who gets the answers right wins. And if you get one wrong, you're out. That's why it's called Last Fan Standing. So we'll give you more details next week.
As we have it.
Some quizzes are free. Some you'll need coins. You get coins by watching adverts or in-app purchases. But honestly, it's good. If you like quizzes, like footy quizzes, like Everton quizzes, you want to get involved, you'll love it. Honestly, you'll love it. And there's going to be different ways of doing it. We're going, as it goes on, yeah. But they're all like live quizzes, so you have to do them when the notification comes on your phone. So, I mean, if you don't want to do it, that's fine. That's on you.
Yeah.
But don't be throwing out that it's crap because you don't. Honestly,
It's a quiz app. That's literally
quiz app.
That's it. It's up to you, Michael. I mean, you've gone. I think you've called it a bit early there. He's dived in early there, hasn't he? He's gone full Funes Mori.
No, he's gone full Jan Verzakli.
Jan would get it though. Jan would go in and get the app.
Okay, I was wondering what he was getting there.
On to the YouTube comments. Mary Dutois says, "Hey, how is James doing? Hammers doing? Well, he's winning his race for Saturday to be fit, according to reports today. So I think Everton feel like he's going to play at the weekend, which is a good thing." Sophie Gallagher says, "Evening lads, somehow I think we will win on Saturday.
Good.
Hammers and Dean are back, and Man United are playing away in Turkey tonight at an early kickoff." And he's putting Donald Trump's going to jail. I don't know.
I don't think he is.
No.
I mean, I don't think there's any actual grounds for him to go to jail.
No.
I don't think just by being maybe not the president, you go to jail.
No, it's a bit harsh. Seems a bit of
And
harsh.
actually, they get immunity for a lot of things.
Seems a bit of a harsh rule if you're not, because you're the president and then you're not, you go to prison.
Imagine that was though. That'd be like in wrestling where you have the retirement fight. It's like if you lose this election, you're in prison. Because they'd work.
I mean, that would be motivation.
They'd work really hard, wouldn't they? They'd put the extra hours in for that.
They would have to put
so I actually like that. I like that.
Eugene McGeever says Brooks keen on Everton return. Seeing a headline, he's keen on a Premier League return.
Not on
he's
Everton
playing
return.
in the Premier League.
Was he with us as a kid?
Yeah, played a game, didn't he?
One game.
I think it was that. We had Michael Johnson, remember him? He was at Man City, played for us as well for a year.
Story,
yeah, it's bad. But he played for Everton's youth team and he played I think and then he went somewhere else and went to Sheffield. He might have been at City as well. And he went to Sheffield United. Yeah.
He was at City.
So,
because City were hoovering up all the players that time.
So he's a good player though. Stuart Lowe says, do you remember a can of pop called Quattro? I do.
Yeah.
Quattro was
it was fancy, but it was horrible.
Yeah, it wasn't great.
It gave you that idea of like, no, it was one of those drinks. No, like you went in the shop and you'd look at it and go, I want that. But your mum would get you like a Coke or something. So because you couldn't have it, there was actually and then when you got it, it tastes like crap.
It just wasn't very good. Did you like Quattro?
Full of sugar as well.
That's an interesting one. Make sure you hit the like button as you come in, please.
And don't forget, like my mum and dad used to own a sweet shop. I've basically tried everything under this.
Chenla says, I think the media will go mad about Potts joining United if we beat them. If Everton beat them on Saturday, I think Solskjaer's in trouble. Breaking news though tonight, Dean Henderson is in for United. The Hayes drop.
Isn't that weird though, right? Because this time last year, we were playing Tottenham and all the talk was Pochettino gets sacked.
Yeah.
And now all the talk is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer gets sacked and Pochettino could be coming in.
Mad,
isn't that life? That's life for you though, isn't it? That is life.
Eugene says, yeah, Everton confidence on Hammers return. Blue Boy Stew 1878 says, Brooks can be as keen as he likes. Are Everton in for him more the point?
I like
They
Brooks.
said, like, yeah, he's quality. But they're saying like 40 odd million for him. Everton aren't paying 40 odd million for David Brooks.
I think he could play. I think he'd be a good backup for that right hand side, you know, because I think he's a player who would wander off the right.
I think he can play anywhere in our midfield.
I know, but why do you have to trample on me point?
I'm not. You're making a good point.
Right, I think he would start on the right, not start in front of Hammers, of course. But he could be a player who could come in and wander off that right and become that central player. I remember seeing him at Goodison a couple of seasons ago. And the player he reminded me most of the day was Tim Cahill. The way he played the behind the forward, and he was picking up all these lovely, and he's got a lovely shift of balance as well.
Let me just clarify when I said but better, as like a footballer, like more technical than Tim.
Okay. Not as a watch showman. Because he does love showing us watch, Tim. Have you noticed that?
Well, he's a
salesman, isn't he?
He's
got a brand and he loves it. I do like Brooks, and I think he'd be a lovely fit.
The thing with Brooks as well is, if you had that midfield of Alan and Decore, he could be the 8 as well, because he doesn't mind getting in the tackle, but he can break the lines as well. And so you'd almost shift, so you've got two axes. You have a double pivot then, wouldn't you, and Brooks just ahead of it.
We could have a T-shirt in the spirit of the Shawshank Redemption that had a piece of wood on it and it said Brooks was here. Ned knows. So, well, yeah.
There you go. Mark G says, get the likes up and go and join Patreon. Fair enough, Mark. Mark, talking to salesman. Mark took the Tim Cahill baton there, hasn't he? Phil Broder says, who knows which United will turn up. That's a really good point, Phil, because they've been dreadful at Old Trafford, haven't they? 4 home games in the Premier League. They've lost 3 of them and drawn 1. And yet, 2 away games so far, and they've won both of them. So, hopefully, they'll get stretched a bit tonight in Turkey, and it'll be a tough game for them. And then they'll come back. And if Everton can get in front, then maybe we can turn the screw at the weekend. Stuart Lowe says, hi guys, why do you think we've been playing with such a slow tempo, despite only playing 1 game a week?
Slow players. No. Slow players play slow tempos.
Do you mean like the last 2 weeks, are we talking specifically? Because the week before, what I found was in the opening 5 games, our tempo wasn't really slow because James was playing. And despite him not doing any sprints, he set it with his pass, and the ball does all the work.
It's also lack of quality.
It's
also lack of quality. If you're not a good player, you take more care of the ball.
Yeah.
Therefore, you have an extra touch. The pass is slower. You're not confident of the pair. You watch proper good teams, they smash it into each other.
Yeah, it's first around, yeah.
And
keep hitting the like button, please, thank you.
Look at Man City, it's smash, smash, smash.
Yeah, definitely. Paul McGovern says, what system do you think Carlo should use to get more people around Dom, as he was pretty isolated last week?
I think it's got to be 4-3-3, but Decore has to start breaking from midfield, and that means someone else in midfield who's got legs. That could be Gabaman. Not putting any promises on that because we don't know how he's going to come back. Good to see him again training yesterday. He's due back. He's due back after the international break, but the question mark is, does he have to isolate when he comes back? That might be the question.
I don't think he does.
Okay. Well, we don't know.
because he's a professional
But he hasn't
sportsman.
been in a professional...
No, but I think what'll happen is he'll have to be tested before they do anything. Basic trigonometry says Mark G knows. He speaks sense. Mark G replied with, there's a first time for everything.
Natty Co says, afternoon lads, good to see Baz appears much happy today. Must have thought of some of our best players hopefully being available at the weekend.
And it's space and time, isn't it?
Yeah, it's space and time.
And I've been doing the numbers stuff today, so I've had a look at some of the
Benjamin
stuff.
Fairclough says, oh, hi, Knight's drawing in.
I like it, Benjamin. I like it. Have you sent your video yet? You haven't, have you? You haven't sent your question in to Peyton? Oh, has he sent it?
Yeah.
It's right, we'll do it tomorrow.
I forgot all about it because we've had...
No, well, we've done stuff today, but we'll do it tomorrow. We'll do that tomorrow.
Loads of... Dick L, the famous Dick L.
Dick L. Has he just come back from number 23?
He said, really interesting hearing you guys talk about former young players like Michael Branch, Billy Kenny and George Green. Which one young player did you expect to reach the top and was then disappointed? And then you were disappointed when they never did. For me, it was always Billy Kenny. I mean, it'd be, number one, it'd probably be Michael Branch for me because he was a mate when I was a kid. So it was disappointing to see someone you know not make it. Oh, go on.
Me?
No, you can't have you.
Branch was a disappointment because there was a lot of talk about him.
And because people were comparing him with Owen.
Yeah, and there was a thing. Kadamati was another one. And I never, not that I ever thought Kadamati would go to the very top, but the way he broke in at that time, he was really exciting. Branch, there was a lot of talk before he got in the team.
I tell you who I was really disappointed. Not disappointed because he had a great career, but someone like Richard Dunn.
No.
But I don't know whether you'd class that because he had a really good career.
Franny Jeffers.
Franny
got in. A lot of talk. Great movement. Got in. Scored goals for us. Seemed to have everything. We had a good partnership with Kevin Campbell and it was like, we're sorted now for a striker. And then obviously his father-in-law was just like, get better money here, get better money. He got into him, drove the wedge between the club and him, moved him off to Arsenal and his career went.
Yeah, and
so
that was it.
He's one, I would say, he was a big disappointment.
His career away, didn't he, basically? Went to Arsenal and then came back to us on loan and then went back to Arsenal. I think it was Sheffield Wednesday after that.
He was all over the place, wasn't he? Sheffield Wednesday, and he ended up and played in
this is a lad.
Australia
This was a lad, honestly. Franny Jeffers was...
His movement
was unbelievable. And him and Kevin Campbell up front, they were brilliant. And he was the heartbreaker before Rooney. I mean, the irony was Rooney pulled the once a blue, always a blue t-shirt. It was a reference to Franny Jeffers. Franny Jeffers scored on his only England performance on Rooney's debut.
Yeah.
When all eyes were on Rooney. They got beat by Australia 2-1 at Upton Park. I remember it. But Francis Jeffers scored the goal. He was incredible. But unfortunately, like you just said, you'd go to the High Street on a Sunday night and you were guaranteed he was there and he didn't have that discipline. And that's the problem, isn't it?
It's a different time,
but that's generally the problem of all footballers, isn't it? All I remember a lad who played for Everton and he went to my school, thought he was going to be good, and he ended up going to Torquay, right? You'll know what I mean. He went to Torquay, right? He played in Torquay, and by 10 o'clock on a Saturday night, he'd be in Yates's on Allerton Road. So, what, you know what I mean? That's the dedication to get home to Liverpool, to go out on the ale.
I went to Wimbledon, it must have been. And we got beat when we were at Selhurst Park. We got beat 2-1. And we were going on a night out after it. And we come home. And we went straight into town and went into Plumbers. And I walked into Plumbers. And one of our players who played was already bladdered in Plumbers in the toilet. And I was like,
how?
I've literally we've been dropped off from, we didn't stop. Yeah. We raced on the motorway all the way home. Dropped off in town, went into the pub, went to the toilet. He was in there drunk. And I was like, I've literally just come back from London watching you. How are you back and drunk at this time? It was like 9 o'clock. And that was the culture at the time. And
everyone
if Franny Jeffers broke through now, he'd be incredible forever.
Like we said yesterday,
he'd have everything round.
Like we said yesterday when we were talking about Billy Kenny, everything that happens is a learning experience for the next generation from what not to do. Like it'd be very hard to see, like, players out in town now. Because number one, a lot of them wouldn't be there anyway. And number two, they'd go to the places that a lot of other people wouldn't be because they've got the money to be able to go in places that, no, where isn't, like you just said, like, I remember standing in the queue for Streets and Richard Dunn and Michael Ball was standing behind me. Richard Dunn had a cigarette hanging out, he looked bladdered.
He liked the bevy.
But that's the thing, that's why he got chased, didn't he? Because he liked the bevy. But they're standing behind me in the queue for, like, not even like go to the front of the queue and someone go, well, not even that, someone the doorman going, better get them in because it's good for business. Like, you'd see them in town all the time, Yates. Like I said yesterday, you see Gaz and
Yates. On one hand, that's like good, because it's like, oh, they're just like us, isn't it? But then on the other hand, for professional sportsmen, it's not. And but there was a time where did they all go? What was the place called in Dale Street, where there was a little
news bar.
News bar. You'd always go. They were all in there, Everton and Liverpool. That was the place, and all you get all the girls getting to, trying to pull footballers in there. That was the place, wasn't it, for a while? Now,
place in Victoria Street.
But now it'll be Manchester if they go out, and it'll be Wilmslow and all of those places. But it's just different, and they've got so much information. And the thing about it now, of course, as well, is obviously them.
Cameras.
It's that. Yeah. So, we seen a thing a few years ago with Wayne Rooney when he was in a hotel where someone else was, and someone was having a wedding, and he said, can we have a picture with you? And he did. Yeah. And then it was all over. He was bladdered before he come into the, and all. And you're like, you've gone up and asked him for that photo. If he'd have gone, go away, it'd have been Rooney, snub me, he's a knobhead, whatever. He's gone, yeah, all right, I'll have a picture with you. And then you've plastered it everywhere. Yeah. It's like the ones who buy Gaza bevies and then sell the video to the papers and go, look at that, he was a disgrace. Yeah. So now, you look at players and you think, no wonder they shy away from it all, because why would you? Yeah. You can't.
Why would you, like, if you went somewhere and you seen somebody,
keep hitting that like button because we've got the obsessed crowd in.
If you were in a pub and you seen a player and you wanted to walk over and go, oh, I'll have a chat with him, and they don't want to have a chat with you. It's not being them they just don't want to be caught out.
You have to be wary of everybody,
exactly.
Don't you?
Because
it's not a nice thing, because we could go up and go, boss, to just have a chat with blah blah there. Yeah. We've seen it on a different level. I mean, not being drunk or whatever, but we've seen it when you start speaking to play. At first, they're a bit like, they're a bit, and you're cagey because they would be. Yeah. But then when they know like that, you're not going to sell them down the river. They're just normal lads, aren't they?
Exactly.
And that's the thing. And on a night out, they're probably made up to get pictures with people, but it's wary now. It's girls and all. It's like you see them with, like, a lot of them are like, my hands are in front of me and all of this. And I think you told me ages ago, like, an actor.
Keanu Reeves.
He
puts his arms around people, but his arms never touch the person.
It's just like anything or whatever. And because you've got to be so careful. Yeah. I mean, that's sort of weird turn, didn't it? Where are we? Samuel Thornton-Leach says, evening lads, who had the better left foot, Baines or Sheedy?
Sheedy?
I love Leighton Baines. We both love Leighton Baines, but
Sheedy was world class.
Sheedy's like James' left foot.
Yeah, Sheedy was world class.
Sheedy's left foot was just,
high put free kicks in whichever corner you want to.
Yeah, it was just incredible. Incredible.
Exactly.
Crystal X Killer says, hello lads, I'm back in the stream. Love them questions. Who do we play, Kenny or Godfrey at right back, or do we do something else? Well, it looks like Seamus is back at the weekend. I hope he's fully fit, because we don't want him limping off again after 25 minutes. But it looks like he's back, and it also looks like Ben Godfrey's back in the squad at the weekend. And James Gavo has said Godfrey and Firmino this Saturday.
Oh, hi James Gavo.
What would you do?
I'd bring Godfrey.
Maybe give Yerry a little bit of a blow.
I think we need pace
and put
at the back.
Pace in at the back alongside Michael Keane. Sophie says, any coincidence that Gylfi Sigurdsson has started 2 games and we've lost both of them? I think the man is poison that needs shipping out. I don't think he's poisoned, Soph. I just think his powers are waning. And I think when you put him in a team that's got other players who aren't the top level, I think they all manage to drag each other down. Don't they?
It's too. You can't have two. You can drop a couple of in, but there's too many of them.
Chris Richardson says, has anyone ever seen Andre Gomez and Ryland Clark in the same room?
No, because why would they be in the same room unless they were doing some kind of
interview,
reality TV panel after show.
I think Rylan is taller though. Rylan's about 6'4", isn't he? I think he is taller, but I don't know because I've never seen them together, so maybe. Stuart Lowe says, I think Quattro was withdrawn because it looked like a can of oil to kids.
It was also
so rather than redesigned it, they stopped doing it. I think
Quattro
it was
sounds like alcohol as well.
Yeah, it sounds like Quattro, obviously. Sam Ewell Thorndale Leach also says, who'd be your ideal right winger to play up front with Dom and Richie? Well, James at the moment. Because I think there is this thing, and I do, and I've seen him play there for Bayern Munich, I've seen him play there for Real Madrid. There is this thing that he could just go and be our number 8.
Yeah.
Right? Which he probably could because he's that good. But we'd have to almost shift the midfield a little bit, so it would have to be the two, Alan and Decore, almost playing level with each other. It can work. But I just think the reason why he's doing so well is because he can just drift infield. The key is, like you keep saying, is the right back. You've got to, if we had someone who was similar to Luca Dean, maybe not even Luca Dean's quality, but similar to Luca Dean, who could get up and down that right wing and throw crosses in or get into the box, essentially Seamus Coleman at 23, then James would be even more effective because their left back will be like, what do I do? And it means you're pulling their left winger, left midfielder back as well. He's so effective for us because he comes into those areas in field and he messes up the opposition's formation because he's dragging people out of position. So if the left back lets him come inside, the centre back thinks, I got to engage, or one of the midfielders drops back and thinks, right, I'll have to go to him, which in theory then should free up Abdoulaye Decore as well. So it does mess around with people's systems. So, but I think if we were going to try and get a right winger in, you'd want someone direct with pace. Maybe Sarr at Watford would be very good. But there is other ones out there. And, I wanted Under, who's gone to Leicester and done all right there. Someone with real pace who we could get in behind people.
Big Jan says, just as soon as James or Richie have the ball, we have runners. We just have not that, so it appears slow and nowhere to go. This weekend we'll be laughing. Mark G says, missing the piv. Where's he been? Get the lad back on, please. Thanks. Well, he went on holiday, and then
he's ill at the moment.
Well, and then he's been
working
and stuff.
And,
so
he's been a bit below.
And obviously we can't have people in the studio as well. So
we will get him. We'll get him on next week, but it'll be obviously.
Alex Stevens says,
nice guy.
Good evening, afternoon, gentlemen. He said good evening, gentlemen. I don't know why I added the afternoon.
Okay.
Wanted to ask something. I see frequently mentioning in why a player might be chosen to start. When you mention a manager seeing a player and saying every day, what exactly can a player do in training to stand out? Is it just a matter of outworking everyone else or being sharp in drills? Cheers, boys. Well, it's like anything else, isn't it? It's like if they've got two players and one of them's working harder than the other and it's doing the job the manager wants to do in the preparation for the game, he's going to pick him, isn't he?
You can't just rely on matches every week. You can't. And managers don't. And I think Michael Ball, ex-Everton player, Michael Ball, was saying the other day, I think I said it, didn't I? And one of the other things we've done is that you get in the manager's eye in training, you put tackles in, you work harder, you sharpen your drills. I'm quite sure everyone's attitude's really good in training, or most of them. You sharpen drills, and then the Everton play an 11-a-side game on a Thursday, I think it is. I think it's a Thursday. Before the weekend every week, and the manager stops, and it's in general it's the team that's going to start. So David Ancelotti had said this as well, is that the manager will come on and stop things and go, right, this is what you need to do with this thing. So it's in those games. If you're, say, Anthony Gordon, there's a lot of clamour for Anthony Gordon to start this weekend. So say Anthony Gordon is in that 11v11 and he's up against Niels and Kunku, or if he's playing off the left, he'll be up against Seamus Coleman or John Joke. He's got to give them a torrid time in that game. He's got to get past them, he's got to link up well, get shots away, and then the manager starts looking and thinking, he's actually giving me an option here. He's troubling our right back here, who's playing in especially if it's Seamus Coleman. If he's putting Seamus in awkward positions, then the manager looks and goes, well, these are Premier League footballers. Something Duncan said to us when he was in a year ago is that when you work with Premier League players, sometimes it's just as advantageous to have that player training with them fit. Like someone like Jared Branthwaite at the moment. people could say he could have gone on loan before the window shut. Well, he could, but maybe the managers thought he's better off playing against Dominic Calvert-Lewin every day.
Yeah.
Because he's a Premier League, striker or Richarlison or whatever. And that's what it is in those training sessions. It's can you stand out? So you're in the manager's head when he's picking a team.
Phil Williams says, love you.
Who does?
Phil Williams.
Love you too, Phil.
Love you too.
You're a patron.
You get extra love.
Excellent.
Ben Armstrong says, all right, lads, does the fat Carlo still keeps making Sigurdsson captain when he plays him not annoy you? He shouldn't even be on the pitch, never mind captain. It does annoy me. Yeah. It does. I will say it annoys me. On the flip side, Italians are very much like, give it to the most senior player on the pitch, they're the captain. We're not like that in this country. We want a representative of our football club, the captain, to be like, the captain.
It's a tone setter, isn't it?
But Italians are generally not. They give it to the most senior players. But it does annoy me. I must admit it does annoy me. Gareth Hughes says, talking of playing with ex-pros and good players, last night I played against Tony Kelly, best known at Bolton. Oh, good player. I think good. I was 6'5" and he was 5'8". A corner clipped to the back post and he beat me by a good foot in the air. What a spring. Total snide. He was a rough-arsed Sunday League team after being a pro, and the team were literally 15-0 up, and he was still trying to intimidate young players playing against them and calling them all kinds. What a tit. But that's the difference.
Hell of a player.
That's what makes those players, though. You forget that a lot of... We were talking about yesterday about players coming off Sunday League. Loads of players played Sunday League in Liverpool and become pros, and they're going to take that thing that they have in Sunday League, which is you got to scrap and
for
fight,
yourself, don't you?
Because someone... I've played in games where people have said they've got swords in the cars and they're going to go and stab me after the game and all kinds. And because they're just trying to make you bottle yourself, and you've got to stand up to them. Mark G says, pick which matches I watch tonight, please. 6 o'clock, Zenit versus Lazio or Istanbul versus United.
Watch Istanbul. Give us a report on United.
8 o'clock, Chelsea versus Rennes, Bruges versus Dortmund, Barca versus Dynamo, Leipzig versus PSG. Leipzig, PSG, especially if Moise Keane's playing, although I don't think he will because Leipzig are a decent team.
That could be a good game. What was the first one he said?
Oh, hi, Chelsea versus Rennes.
No. What's Dortmund? Dortmund are always a good watch.
There you go. Let's just get
through. And Pinto said, why did Gylfi say he wanted to fight for his place when he's given the opportunities? He just wastes them.
Don't know, because he's...
And Stuart Lowe's bought his first box of deep-filled mince pies. Remember when you done the mince pie taste with me on Any Other Business?
I was in Aldi on Monday it was. And you go through the special aisles and there was some of the Mr. Kipling Christmas cake slices, and I was very tempted. I was very, very tempted. But, I mean, I don't indulge in Christmas too early, but I have bought a packet of sour cream, Christmas tree shaped pretzels, and they're amazing.
Okay. Mr. Mitt says Everton net spend 225 million the last 5 years. Spurs LFC only 225 million. Okay.
Yeah, we've made poor decisions.
We
all know that.
We certainly have.
We all know that.
Paul McDonough wants McKeever, the Everton's women's keeper, in goal. Okay.
It's small.
Alex Jordan says Leviticus says Gordon should play where Gomez plays.
What about Iwobi playing where Gomez has been playing?
But last week Gomez was up. Was basically
no, but normally.
Yeah, normal position, the 8th. Ian Mills says, whether you agree or not agree, can you see Everton reverting to 4-4-2 Saturday? James Roman with Tosin and Dominic Calvert-Lewin up front. No, Ian, really can't. I think it'll be 4-3-3. He'll go back to what was working if James is fit. It'll just be off the left. It'll either be Iwobi, Bernard or Gordon for me. What I can see though is maybe Delph starting. I don't think Gomez is going to be fit. So I can see Delph starting. Darren McGuinness says, is James back for Saturday? Yeah, I think Hopefully. He is. Hussein Kaya says Gabriel's the best centre-back in the Premier League. Okay.
Keith Powell says, we definitely need the pace of centre-back up against Rashford, Greenwood, Martial. If not Holgate, strike Godfrey, as Mina got well turned over by Ryan Fraser last week and left for dead a few times. So glad that James is back. Right back is without a doubt a serious area we need to adjust. As sorry, but John Joe is not up to the demands of the task there. Are we not looking at the Barca right back? Real? No. We need a top class right back.
Emerson.
We were, weren't we?
But Emerson, there's a story come out today, haven't he, saying it's Everton's interest in him is nonsense, and it's there to unsettle.
Phil McCurry says, any more news on Uncle Usmanov coming in with seeing women's shirt sponsor? Be nice to see one of his firms on our sleeve for 100 million in time for January. You can't have you can't have that for a start. I think, listen, it's about you don't want too much from Usmanov because it starts getting the alarm bells. Someone will look at it and go, why is he sponsoring on everything? You want to attract other companies. Why have his money when you can get his money anyway? When you can get someone else's money. That's what we need. John Washburn says, should we have kept Kieran Darlah's back up to Hammers? I know he's injured at Norwich, but their styles are not similar. Left-footed, right forward. Always seemed wonderful. No, Kieran Darlah.
God, no. Who's he similar to? No, he's not good enough for Everton. He's not good enough. He might be in 3 years if he played every week. Honestly, he's not good enough for Everton.
Just not good enough.
He'd have been in the first team if he was any good.
Dick L wants words.
Okay.
He said, Spaz, stop insinuating I'm spending time with the MILF called Jane in number 23. I only have eyes for my wife Nikki, who is a MILF herself and looks fantastic in yoga pants. Oh, Baz, you've created a domestic storm.
Fair play, Nikki, and fair play, Dick. That's all you can say. Top people. Stuart Lowe says, exactly, Baz, only the last 2 games we struggle with any team that has pace. Do you think Ancelotti tolerates the backward and sideways passing as that's all we did in the last 2 games? I think you see him frustrated when we don't pass the ball forward.
Yeah.
The players will do what the players do. All they can keep doing is giving the message. I think the one thing we have to do, and listen, I was as guilty as this at the weekend, is that you've got to remember where we are in Ancelotti's process. We're 10 months in through a manager. Mm-hmm. We're doing relatively well this season. When we've had our full team, we're unbeaten. We haven't had our full team the last 2 games. We've lost the both of them. On Saturday, we've got most of our full team back. We have to just accept that it's going to take more than one transfer window to turn a team that finished 12th, albeit we should have finished higher than that, but we didn't, into a team that we can say with any certainty that we're going to be challenging for Europe and the Champions League places. We may still do that if we can keep our first team fit for the season. Definitely Europe, definitely the Europa League. There's not many teams after Liverpool and Liverpool and City who are much better than Everton. But we've got to keep our first team fit. And if we do have players coming in, it can only really be 1 or 2.
Gareth Hughes, he said, looks like Biden should win now. He said, very close though. How can almost half the population vote for Trump? The mind boggles, although saying that half of our country voted for the nest-headed buffoon. What I would say, Gareth, is that more people have voted for Joe Biden than have ever voted for an American president ever before. So the popular vote has been smashed by Joe Biden, but that's not how it works in America. So,
and don't forget, just because your view is one way, other people have their views.
It's a complicated country, very complicated. Phil says, how do we know Nikki isn't seeing a yoga instructor called Franco who lives at 25 when Dick L is watching the match?
Lynn, hello Lynn, how are you? Lynn, I was gutted Monday. I honestly thought you'd have a chance of beating them and 3 were in. Lynn says, situations vacant, manager required from Sunday to motivate 25 lazy, unmotivated, Underachieving
Hang
men.
on, what's this about?
Guaranteed minimum wage plus Lidl vouchers apply West Bromwich Albion football.
Whoa, hang on. See, this, I don't like this. When teams come, West Brom quality level is low, right?
They haven't spent any money, have they, really?
Now, they were promoted, and didn't even think they had a very good team last year, but they got promoted. And they didn't have any time to buy anyone. And they don't have a history of going mad when they get in the Premier League anyway. That's they were a classic yo-yo team. I think you need to lower your expectations, Lynn, or come full Everton, where we have no expectations. Because, come on, you've just come up. Don't be one of those people that start getting annoyed when your team are not coming up because they're in the Premier League. The quality levels are massively different.
It's got to aim for 17th this season.
Leeds, it was like a 2-year project where the first year they bottled in, the second year they got up, and they've got good players, and they also spent a lot of money. Don't forget, but come on, give them a.
It's only 7 games gone. You've got it. 17th is good. It's difficult, but you can start winning games. It is a tough ask when you don't spend money. You've got to get organised.
Mark G says, just for clarification on the misnomer that half the country voted for Trump, and this is what I was trying to say, Mark, he said, there are 220 million registered voters. Roughly 65 will vote for Trump this election. That's not even 1/3 of the registered voters, and less than 25% of the actual country. Accuracy and facts matter. I know, Mark, what it is I don't think people, and I'm not having a go at anyone, by the way, it's a very complicated system. Every time there's an American election, someone has to come on TV in this country and explain it. The electoral college is not exactly, it's not too dissimilar, because obviously we have MPs, so 1 million people in Liverpool could vote Labour, but we're still only going to have the same amount of MPs, aren't we? And it's the same in America. The electoral college is completely, it throws the whole thing up in the air. Like Hillary Clinton had 3 million more voters voting for her than Trump did, but Trump won. Trump has known where to target, and it's looking like it's very close. And yeah, Biden has got millions and millions of more voters, but yet it's still very close, and that's the mad thing.
We have it here, though, don't we? We have it with proportional representation.
Well, that's it, and actually,
one of the was it Corbyn or the one before got more votes than the Tories. But
no, I know, and that's what, and every time, and this is what they've been trying to do in America, and it's what they're trying to do is change the boundaries to suit them. Keith Powell says, Keith Powell says, America's not a country, it's a continent, made up of 50 plus states of having different cultures and governed independently, 3 different time zones and dozens of different outlooks. Nuts. Yeah. No, I listen, Keith, I know. I've been all around that great country.
A. Smith says, what's your prediction for Man United?
I think they'll win.
Think we'll win?
Oh, sorry, tonight or Saturday?
No, Saturday.
Yeah, so we'll win.
I think we'll win. We've got our best team back, practically. Eric Durney says, get the likes up. Froome Pinto says, what do you make of the Isco rumours? Come on, Ped. You deal with that.
Not convinced. Not convinced by him at all.
He's a good player, isn't he?
He's a good player. I think he likes Burger King. I think he does. I think he loves a chocolate milkshake.
Get some of the places where you're watching from him.
I think Andy the Piv would have an absolute heart attack if we brought him in as well. And I think in a way he'd have a right to, because having James Rodriguez is good, but then if you start adding more players in that vein,
that age, on that money, he is a good player though. If you got him fit, he's a really good player.
But maybe the reason why he's that size is because you can't get him fit.
No, what I'm saying.
So,
all right. John Ross says, all right, lads, messaged you a couple of weeks ago from the Arctic Circle. This is why I've said, let us know where you are. Currently in Calgary, enjoying the last few days of sun before the snow.
Bret Hart territory.
Before the snow hits on Saturday. Keep up the good work. Cheers, John. Enjoy Calgary. Agasta Garg says Pennsylvania is getting close. Jamie McGee says, all right, lads, how's it going? Very well, thanks, Jamie. Stuart Lowe says what happened when we nearly signed a Brazilian called Muller. He thought he was getting 25 grand a week tax free.
Well, he took, yeah,
And he
after
wasn't.
tax.
Yeah.
After tax.
Yeah, and he wasn't.
And he wasn't.
He was getting half of it.
So he walked out in his
red,
awful coat.
Yeah. Jared Monaghan says, I thought Nyako was going to be class. Look how that turned out. He did look good early on, didn't he, Nyako? And then it went absolutely the other way, didn't it? Mr. Mitt, I have read your super chat. Haven't I? I read it before. He said about the Spurs, 225 million net. Liverpool, 225 million. Everton, 225 million.
Oh, was that okay.
That was a super chat.
No, listen.
That's why I read it. If you do a super chat, I read it straight away. I read it before.
Yannick Menendez says it's 4 time zones.
There you go.
But he said couldn't be more right. Dozens, if not hundreds, of subcultures here in the US. No, I
looked at it, right.
I agree. America, people don't appreciate the size of America.
I looked at it and Florida's bigger than the UK.
Yeah.
So I looked at it last night and it was like, how could you have one, how can they govern a whole
California
continent?
has the 5th
like
largest,
Europe, isn't it?
Is the 5th largest economy on earth. California. It's huge. It's a huge place. And this is all over. And the mad thing about
Alaska's the biggest state.
Yeah, which they bought off Russia.
Absolutely huge.
The mad thing also, and there's a country in between it. The mad thing about America is though, some of those states don't have people for like hundreds of miles.
No.
People live in the middle of nowhere, and yet you've got places. This is why America is like, it's a mad melting pot.
It's like having, a bit like the EU, but worse. It's like having someone in Switzerland like that's the Prime Minister of or the President
it is.
of all of that, isn't it? And then expecting people to think the same or live the same. It's mad.
But that's what it
is. But I'm just saying it's mad, isn't it? When you look at the sheer scale of it, it's incredible.
That's what, at the end of the day, that's what they wanted.
Stuart Lowe says, I once worked at a casino in the early 90s when Carlton Palmer came in and blew 7 grand in less than a couple of hours. Wow. Chenla says, should Godfrey start over Mina against United because of the pace of their attackers? Yeah, probably. Dosbick says, hi all, hope everyone is doing well. Jamie McGee says, Gordon to start on Saturday. Toothy Orifice want you to give him a wink pad.
I've done it.
Done it without meeting no one's class.
Can you wink with only one eye, or can you wink with both eyes? And when I say wink with both eyes, I don't mean at the same time. See, that's weird. I can't do that.
I can do both.
I've got no I've got no control of my left hand side.
I can do the Carlo eyebrow as well. Mr. Dorf said, hey lads, who did you pretend to be when playing football in the playground? I was either Cotty, Van Basten or Chris Waddle. Van Basten,
decent mix, that, isn't it?
A player. I think I probably would have been like either like Adrian Heath or then like Maradona or like those. It's who's amazing at the time.
I think, I mean, a bit of...
I'd say he was good, Platini.
There's a bit of Cotty there. That telly's about to go off. You never did your job.
You need to do it, Matty.
There's a bit of Cotty there, I think.
Yeah.
Bit of, you know, I don't know. Yeah, a bit of Cotty, I think, for the age.
Fair play. Natty Co says, finally, I'm looking forward to the weekend because we have 3 of our best players back. Stuart Lowe says, I once very naively went to Bramall Lane, age 15, knocked on the door to ask if they would give me a trial. An amused woman asked me to wait. 5 minutes later, a man called Tony Curry came to see me. Tony Curry, ex-QPR.
That's amazing.
Incredible. Did you get your trial?
Wouldn't it be Tony Curry, ex-Sheffield United?
And QPR. Tony Curry was amazing.
No, I know, but...
You know. Natty Covenant. Blue Boy Stew said, if there's one thing that annoys the life out of me, it's Gylfi wearing the captain's armband.
Fair enough.
Martin Hennessy says, do you put Gomez form down to the fitness injury or is he just not good enough? Martin, what I would say is,
listen to the
podcast this week. If you are a patron, watch the podcast this week. If you aren't a patron, the podcast is free. Listen to the podcast this week because we do about 15 minutes on Andre Gomez, so check it out. Paul McDonald says McNeil at Burnley is decent. He is, Dwight McNeil. FC Waffle 3 says, would you have Garner or Alan?
Both.
Yeah.
Both.
James Haywood says, have to get King in January. Well, we have to get a forward player in. I do like Josh King, but, I mean, Ped's already said about wages and stuff. You'd have to look at it like that. But we'll see. Ian Mills says, Baz, what's your memories of the night Duncan was sold in 98? Didn't you work at the club at the time? I did. I was in work. We were playing Newcastle, weren't we? I was in work, and about 6 o'clock, it might have been earlier, Murmurings come through that something was amiss, something was happening with Duncan, and it was like, why is he playing? And it was like, he's not playing. And there was all sorts of stuff coming through. But I hadn't been told he was sold at that point. So we're still working. And I think the game was kicking off at 7:45. And I went up to my seat. I was leaving about 7:20 to go up to my seat. And at 7:30, our Phil coming, because we were going up together, come to the window, and he was like, there's this thing, like this rumour that he's going. So I asked a couple of people, phoned someone in the club, and just said, basically, yeah, we've accepted the bid from Newcastle. Couldn't believe it. So, but it was still like, he might not go still. So we went up to watch the game. Obviously watched the game. We won, didn't we? Michael Ball penalty, we won. Went back into the office after the game, and it was like, yeah, he's going. And come home, and the next day it was that thing when I woke up in the morning, and you're just thinking, is it real or isn't it real? Feeling. And when you realise it's real, it was just, it probably affected me more than any other player for years leaving. Lineker affected me, but Ferguson leaving really gutted me. And I think at that point, after that, anyone else leaving has just been like when Wayne left, I know a few of my mates would I wasn't really bothered. It was just like, yeah, well, what, you know. And it was a kick in the old stomach. Couldn't believe it. Because I thought, because it dragged on a day, and Dunk said himself, he delayed it, didn't he? Because he didn't want to go. Yeah. I was hoping the next day, because nothing had happened, it was going to fall through. But it was sad.
It was horrible.
Grim. Where are we? Live Electric Services is watching from Vancouver, and it's raining. Glenn Watson says, how many likes for a Ped Sean Connery impression? Ideally from Highlander. 250. 400 are you watching?
Scottish Spanish.
On 136 likes, that's poor.
I would like.
No, we haven't got the 250 likes yet.
I would like to ship into your garage. That was me James Bond one. That's not like me. That's not like my Highlander one.
Stephen Cardy says, think Richarlison's stupidity has cost us at least 6 points with that silly sending off. We'd have well won at Newcastle and Southampton. Mark the Narc thinks United will destroy us. Okay. Stewie, yes I did. Jared Monaghan says, is Isco a Richie replacement? No. James Hayward says, what about 4-4-2 with Nkunku playing left wing? You know what though? Why? You know what? I actually thought today, I wonder if they thought about Nkunku just for this game off that side. But, don't know. I think it's more likely to be one of the normal three.
Stop shoehorning players into positions they don't play in.
The Milan Monster wants to know what my view is on Terry's chocolate oranges. I don't mind. Terry's chocolate orange, all right. I don't love them, but they're all right.
I had chocolate orange ice cream over the weekend from Aldi. It's a taste sensation.
Was it?
Yeah,
okay.
Beautiful.
Okay. Glenn Watson.
Official chocolate Halloween.
Glenn Watson says, Baz, only question. If you could drive a Ford Mustang around any state in America that you already haven't been to, what state would you choose? California. Surely.
You'd have a lot of states to choose from, wouldn't you?
I would, but I wouldn't.
Have you only been to Florida?
Yeah, I haven't gone anywhere else. I might go to New York.
California's amazing.
But I know, to be honest, right, a few years ago, looked at going to California. We were definitely, it was our summer holiday, the look. And I was looking at like the parks, and the parks are the parks are miles away. And it was just dead complicated with kids. It was just me and my missus.
I would definitely suggest.
I'd
definitely suggest when Zach's old enough, and he doesn't want to come on the holiday. But you still want to go to like Disney.
Yeah,
and
I would. Just me and my
missus. I'd go to California because, and that's why we go.
Definitely.
Because my missus looks at it and goes, I don't want to spend 2 weeks in theme parks, and that's what you do in Florida. And with like if you go to California and do like we did it, you go to San Francisco, brilliant city, and then you go to some of the places on the way down the Pacific Highway, and you go to Monterey Bay and the aquarium there's one, and there's just like
there's loads
seals
of stuff to do.
and just sitting off. You know what I mean? And you're like seals just there, seals just there singing "Kiss from a Rose," and then you get down to LA, and then you're in LA, and like for us people like growing up in this country, and you see and you're in LA, the place that you see only in films and on telly. You're in LA, and also the best thing about going to LA is switch on a bit of Grand Theft Auto, and you're like, I know it. I have drove down here and battered the brass. That's in Grand Theft Auto, of course. But you go around LA going, I know it. I've been here. And then you go to like Chinese Man's Theatre and all those places, and the places that you've seen.
I'll be honest, I'd love to get.
And then San Diego for the zoo.
I'd love to get an Amtrak train across America. I'd love to do that. See other places.
I would love to. There's a couple of trains. There's one that goes across Canada. I would love to do that as well.
We are definitely going to Canada, like there's no question.
Dad love cruises as well. I might have to do a cruise as well at some point.
Yeah, do it. George Keeley says, any news on Gabaman? And if he gets back, what will he offer us? Well, he's supposed to be back at Finch Farm next week. And what he'll offer us when he's fit is another powerful midfield player.
Hopefully.
Who can either play in the six or can get around the pitch and break the game up and be able to cover when our fullbacks go on. So
Ned did just point out and remind me that he did once go on holiday, if you remember, to Chester.
He did.
And he's from St Helens.
He did.
He went for a short break in Chester, and he lives in St Helens.
It's not even a breakaway, is it?
It's not a break. It's a car drive. It's just getting in your car and going for a day out, and yet you went on holiday to Chester. I don't know what to say to that.
True Blue's not having that Dowlish similar to Rodriguez.
No, he's not.
Crying faces.
He's not, but I'm not going to insult one of our viewers. He's just not. Side Jukebox says, do you think it's time to scrap the championship playoffs? The third team that goes up usually gets relegated. I find it strange if a third team gets 80 points and the sixth team gets 54 points but wins the playoff, but obviously they will struggle. Yeah, but I think, it's to encourage competitiveness, isn't it? It's saying to people, well, you've got a chance of going up into the Premier League via the playoffs, and it's to keep it all ticking over. And because it's a big league as well, I think this is why it has playoffs, because it's a big league. Those middle teams would have nothing to do for a month or two at the end. This keeps the interest going. Mark G says, would the PIV be okay if we signed a 30-year-old Lewandowski? Probably would. He likes Lewandowski.
I think Andy's thing is there's got to be a plan. And if you're signing too many old players, in 2 or 3 years, you're having to do it all again. There's no return. So I think what Ancelotti's trying to do at the moment is get players in who he knows, like if I play him, he's a 7 out of 10. I don't have to worry. And then you can get young and blend it all together to back it up. And then hopefully they grow into it. Whereas I think what we've probably done wrong is had too many variables in the last few years with players.
Right, Jay Fairland says, evening, joining late from not so sunny Bootel. Welcome. Okay. Jan Vazaki says, Dunga was solid, but I was always played like Mick Lyons or Degsy.
Fair enough.
Jay Fairland says, to be fair, our system makes sense as far as the name on your ballot paper is your local representative. I mean, am I right in USA that they just all vote for one presidential candidate or the other? Makes the electoral system, college system seem balmy to me. Yeah, I think that's right. You just vote for...
No, but within them, they vote for...
but...
people.
No, I know.
So it's...
It's
all... It is a bit...
Tom says, evening, gents, just drove past Turf Moor and wow, what a dump. I mean, what are you driving past for?
Keep hitting the like button, subscribe if you haven't.
And Mark G says about the system, he said it's far, far more complicated than that. Mark G also says, Baz, if you come to New York, I volunteer to be your family's tour guide.
Who said this?
Mark G.
Mark, I will hit you up. Don't worry.
What have I come?
Don't worry.
Richie Dean says, morning lads from San Diego. Well, San Diego's been talking about that. San Diego. Well, I've been to San Diego. It's a nice place. Boss Zoo. Talking about Dunk leaving and you being gutted about it. Us old asses felt the same when Alan Ball was sold to Arsenal. I cried like a baby, and I know I wasn't the only kid to do that.
Yeah, so Alan Ball affected
He's
loads of people, didn't
greatest ever Everton player.
Lynn Babington says, lol, West Brom fans know the score, we'd be happy with 17th.
Fair play, Liz.
Lynn,
that's what I said. That's because I was about to say Keith.
Okay.
Keith Powell, my first holiday was Blana Festagiag, that lovely place.
Festiniog.
That's what I just said.
Okay.
Sorry about the spelling. See, that's why I said it wrong.
Okay, fair play.
Went on the bus, bit further than Chester, but nothing. I mean, it's a long way from Amsterdam. He said, but nothing wrong with Chester. Matty was a member there for 12 years. Okay. No, I know different times though, Keith. Do you know what I mean? Different times. Do you know what I mean? This lad's got the world at his feet. The world at his feet, and he's going to Chester.
Right, let me reel off some of these. Dalsbrick's watching from the rural area of Budapest. Nice. Lucas Sierra says, James is better than Isco. Isco is great, just frustrated at the moment. Okay. Paul Gillen says, good luck Toffees from Paul Gillen at Country Antrim Eagles. Fair play. Juan Pablo Sanchez says, Canada is even bigger. It is.
I want bamboo. What's that?
Steve Murphy says Russia has 11 time zones.
It does, it's big.
There you go. Drew Helberg says, after seeing Lookman doing so well at Fulham, completing a bunch of dribbles, a couple of shots and creating a couple of chances a game, I regret us letting him go.
No!
Do you? No, he does. He's just saying, do we?
No.
No, I don't. He's a street footballer. He will do that. And there'll be loads of other times in games when he doesn't do a thing. But he's just got to be consistent, Lookman.
Got good money for him and he's gone.
RC Boy says, greetings from Portland, Oregon.
Ooh, one of the places I want to visit.
Oregon.
Side Jukebox says, I lived in the Rockies in Canada for a few months. Definitely worth a visit. People are proper chilled. Well, they are, it's cold. Not like the States. No, I really want to go to Canada. I really do. Richard Parr says, I did 2 Amtraks a few years ago. New York to Niagara Falls and then Niagara to Chicago. Great times. No, I love travelling by train. It's the most chilled out way. And I went to Paris, Liverpool, London, Paris. I've done Liverpool to London to Paris to Lyon. I've done Amsterdam to where did we go in Amsterdam? Where did we go into Germany when Everton played against where did we play?
Nuremberg.
No, they don't.
Wolfsburg.
Wolfsburg. So I love travelling by trains. It's brilliant.
Get the likes of about 200. Come on, we can do it.
Last 5 minutes.
Yeah. Lynn Babington said, what happened to Davis at the weekend? Not in a training video, not in the squad. He was injured, Lynn. He's got an injury, so that's why he wasn't there. Live Electric Services says, we've just produced a world-class player from Edmonton who signed for Bayern Munich. There must be good players. Alfonso Davis, obviously.
Alex P says, a National Parks tour of Colorado, Utah and Wyoming is incredible. The national parks are the crown jewels of the US. In fact, I'd like to be sitting in the middle of nowhere until this madness is over from Whidbey Island, WA.
Fair enough. Brilliant. Mail me says you're under lockdown. Not yet. Tomorrow, isn't it? Luke Muir always pretended he was Cotty, Nevin, Batistuta, or Van Batistuta.
What a mix.
What a player Batistuta was.
Jan Vazaki says, Vancouver is one of the best places I've been. People, amazing, scenery, stunning. I would like to go to Vancouver, Seattle, and Portland, and then go to Astoria, because that's where the Goonies was made. And Cannon Beach as well. I'd like to do that.
Natiko says, you think Carlo was giving up on Tom Davis? No, he was just injured last week.
Richie Dean says, Baz, if you manage to make it over to California, I'll teach you how to play pickleball, now the fastest growing sport in America.
Who said that?
That was Richie Dean.
Richie Dean. I need to go to California.
I am going to California. I'm literally going. Where's the offer for me?
Yeah,
where's my pickleballs? Where's my pickleballs, Richie?
They want to spend time with me. No, I need to go to California because one of my good friends lives there in Pasadena.
Can't be that good a friend if you haven't been.
He's been to see me.
Just saying.
It's the kids thing, isn't it?
Kids would like it, you know. There are kid things to do.
My kids want to go and be entertained all the time at the moment.
You're a bad dad then, aren't you? You can't entertain your kids. Or...
Shut up. Where are we here? Lucas says, not an Isco replacement, but I'm thinking of others. Okay, Glenn Watson says 250 likes, please. Glenn, people are freeloading basically, aren't they? If they're not hitting the button that goes bing. What's this space? 82. Repeated says, just add white chocolate, orange by Terry's. It's the future. But won't it taste of white chocolate and orange?
Right, come on, we need to finish soon.
Okay. Martin Edwards says, my son has just got me a Ferrero Rocher advent calendar. I'm sweating already. Graham Lloydie says, you get seals off Hilbury Island. You do.
Yeah. Mark G says, the Pacific Northwest is the best place in the world I've visited. Vancouver, gorgeous. Seattle, gorgeous. And he keeps on mentioning legal weed. And Oregon, my favourite state of them all. And legal there as well. No, I want to go to those places desperately. It's just, if I could go on holiday to America every year, you people helping us on Patreon will get me there.
No, you know what it'd help you get you there? If they got hold of coronavirus and sorted it, would be a help. Does Bickle move to Canada and become a lumberjack when some world superforce like China decide, okay, not gonna...
Do you want me to just say this?
Go on.
The Kurgan, he is the strongest of all the immortals. He's the perfect warrior. If he wins the prize, mortal men will suffer the eternity of the darkness. You will feel the quickening. Just saying that.
He didn't even get to where he should have got for you to read.
But I just thought I wanted to say it though.
Okay.
I felt like I needed to say it.
Okay. Dan Stars once says, I did Amtrak from Chicago to Seattle. Took many hours and a lot of it was during the night. Yeah,
Richie Dean says, Ped, because you said you'd already been to San Diego last week, but the offer's there for you too. Yeah, but when I went to San Diego, there was no pickleball, was there, Richie? There was no one knocking on my door asking me if I wanted to pickle balls or whatever it was. But thanks for the offer, Rich. Thanks. I'll give you the heads up next time I'm in the area.
Asuman Singh says, hello, Toffees from Bihar in India. Hello, Asuman. Ryan McCarthy says, do you think Donnarumma is a real possibility for Pickford's replacement? His days are numbered. January. Well, Everton can sign him in January, can't he?
Yeah. Yannick says, let me know if you ever come to Denver or Colorado. Gents would also recommend Charleston, South Carolina, like no other city. This is the problem with America. It's too big.
There's too many places, isn't there?
And I haven't got enough years left in me or money in my bank account that can get me to all these places. And this is why Everton must go to America and play a game of football. So we have one place that we can all meet.
Again, they would have this year if it wasn't for coronavirus.
Say that. I think they were making excuses.
Well, he did. He had it sorted. Mark McSweeney says, how are you feeling now, Baz? I'm getting there now, mate. Feeling much better. Where's
Mark,
the piv these days? Because last of the clip, we said it before.
Mark G says, you guys could just come together and we can rent a giant tour bus with Ped Baz 2024 painted on it. Toffee blue to drive around the country. Mark,
I quite like that.
I like the idea. The problem with that, genuine problem with that is, neither of us were born in America, so therefore we could not run for the president. Like I am in no doubt that if I run for president and Baz was my assistant, that we'd win. We'd storm it. Of course we would.
I think if it was the other way round.
No, hang on.
Although you are a loon.
What you got to remember is, right, I'm like the free thinker, right? You're my Christian side. You're the Mike Pence of this, right? You're the guy who gets the Christian votes.
No.
You are. That's what you are. That's what
you're
you are.
The Trump of this, mate.
They don't want.
You're a loon.
They want the guy who's the vice to be the stable one, who brings the Christian values to, who's got the family, right? They've got the kids in his life, goes to church every. I'm the one who.
You're just a maverick, mate.
I'm the maverick. He'll go into China and he'll sort that out. But Baz will be the voice in his ear going, right, listen,
you can't do that.
Leave Kim Jong-un alone,
leave
lad.
him.
Just leave it.
Don't,
it's not worth it.
Don't pick battles.
It's not worth it, lad. So.
Stewie 1987 Iffy says, I remember going to the Lower Gladys on my bill for the first time and I felt like I was part of the family. Love our fans. Yeah, sadly it's changed in the last 10 years, I think.
Gladys is boss.
No, I just mean that I used to, every away game used to think, we're all in this together. Now, I don't like it.
Comes from Baz, you can't even get a cup of coffee in time.
Don't like our fans. Yeah. Hassan Azza says, hello, Ped and Baz.
Hello.
Where are we?
Right, last minute.
Mitchell Bolton, yeah, I know we've got to finish 1 minute, was interrailing around Europe once in his dreams.
Boss.
Okay. Vast areas of Canada still unexplored, he says, yes.
Yeah.
Alison Williams says hi. Hello, Alison.
Hello, Alison.
Oh, hi, Alison.
Oh, hi.
Lester the Corinthian says, is the mullet coming back out this lockdown, Baz? No, mate, I think I'll go to an underground garage and get my hair cut this time. I mean, we'll be back out of lockdown.
Wouldn't it be an underground barbers? I mean,
Yeah.
underground garage would be able to fix your car for you.
Yeah, they'll be
I mean,
and
cut
cut
me
me
hair.
and cut me hair.
It's like you got RoboCop's barber or something. What's going on?
Yeah.
Right, we're done.
We're
We'll
done.
have to go. I've
I'm
got
going.
something that needs to be done. So,
And I'm going home.
thank you for watching. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for asking me to be all Sean Connery.
Richard McKay wants us to go to Australia.
Nah, I'm not going
Okay.
to Australia, mate. Jesus
Spiders.
Christ, you got spiders.
Big spiders.
And heat. The two things I don't like. Sun and and sharks. Sharks. Who wants sharks and spiders? Not being funny. You kill all the koala bears, but you sound having sharks and spiders. What's wrong with you? What is wrong with you?
I'm
Right.
finished. Listen,
Go on,
you're not
go
going
on,
yet.
go on.
Neil Overall has just said, why is Baz such a cool mercurial character?
No,
That isn't the best way to finish.
See, the problem is I've got no evidence.
King Arthur, USA says, Barry, you are very professional. I mean, I don't know what that says about you.
What it says about me is I'm
You're a maverick.
I'm the fun Bobby of
I've
the piece.
got-
I'm the fun Bobby.
I love fun, Bobby. The maverick of the
Right.
place. Like, that's it. We have got to go. Thank
We
you
have
all
to
so
go.
much for
We've
joining.
got